Hey there, welcome back to another awesome tutorial. This one's called Saxophone, and what we're going to be talking about mostly in this particular tutorial is using the gradient tool in combination with layer masks to blend the photos together. So what you're going to need to do is download the man saxophone, sheet music, and violin images, and then open all three of those in Photoshop. We're going to be messing around mostly with this sheetmusic.bmp image, so you're going to want to make sure that is what is currently up. And then we're going to add the other images to it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab the Sexy Sax Man, and I'm going to use my Move tool, which gives the letter V on the keyboard, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag up to the Sheet Music tab. While still holding my mouse, I'm going to drag it down and put him on this image. And I'm going to position him so he's right over here on this left side. Now, what I'm going to do is add a layer mask. And if you remember with layer masks, essentially they're like glorified erasers where everything that is black essentially becomes transparent and everything that is white isn't. So in this case, because we want the images to blend together, we're going to add a gradient to the layer mask that goes from white over on this side to black here so that it fades out. So to do that, add the layer mask by clicking the icon here at the bottom of the layers palette. And then I want to grab my gradient. So to do that, hold down the paint bucket if that's what's visible and select the gradient tool. And one thing I want to make sure of is that my gradient goes from white to black. And so essentially what I need to do is change the foreground and the background color so that white is on top. And so the quick way to do that is just to select this preset right here, and it automatically changes it so that white is on the top. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply click where I want the gradient to start and where I want it to end. And this might take some trial and error a little bit to get, but you want this edge to fade out just a little bit. So again, wherever you click to start it, that's where the white is going to be, in our case the part that's not transparent. And then where you end your selection, that's going to be the part that goes to black or that is transparent. So I'm going to do this again with the violin image. So let me go grab the violin. Again, with my Move tool, I'm going to drag this over to the sheet music and I'm going to put it down here. And this one is going to have to be scaled a little bit, so I'm going to grab this corner, hold shift, and I'm going to scale it till it fits just nicely. And you'll notice too that I have this kind of this awkward corner right here, and so I'm actually going to flip the image. So to do that, go to Edit, Transform, and then flip horizontally. And now it'll fit that corner of that image and not look so funny. After I've got it flipped, I'm going to add the layer mask. And then I want to make sure that over here that white is my foreground color and black is my background color. Then I'm going to get my gradient tool again and click where I want it to start fading out and then do something just like that. Alright, the next step, let's go ahead and create a little title block here. So I'm going to get the rectangle tool, and the shortcut's the letter U on the keyboard, and I'm going to create a little box here. I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity so that it's just barely see-through, and I'm going to add a drop shadow. Give it a little bit of depth, hit OK. Now I want to type inside of this box, and one thing that you need to notice is that if my box is selected and I grab my text tool and I go to right inside, you'll notice how there's a little dotted circle around my text icon. Essentially what that means is that it's going to turn that box into a text box. And that's something that we don't really want to do right now. So I'm going to grab my Move tool and just make sure that that box is deselected. And then I'm going to grab my text tool, and now I can type inside without it actually being a text box. And I'm going to type all that jazz on one line. And then on the next line, it's going to be at 6 o'clock p.m. on February 14th, 2017 at Newberry Hall. Now I'm going to jazz up all that jazz. I'm going to select it. I'm going to go over to my character palette and I'm going to change the font to something a little more exciting. And I'm going to increase my size. I do need to change the color to black. And try to center it just a little bit. And that's it. So once you got that created, go ahead and save it as a JPEG and then upload it to Canvas.